review and edit the calendar, and we look at what goes into application to other organizations and the information that we give them. And I think we should know it. And someone could be asked, see, what about whatever? And what we're looking for when that was to go on something, even because these things have gone through and we have recognizing we
You speak up, can you hear us? Huh?
only the not that early.
My sound is spotty. Sometimes it won't work when I'm on meetings and, just in time.
Pass the
Can
word
you
on
hear us?
HP.
I was thinking about doing a council meeting, like accidentally knocking it off the table.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Now that, now that we have all
seven of us in this room. And Kim Shell on Zoom. We're gonna call this meeting to order formally. And let's look at the agenda to see if there's anything we might change, but I think other items, number 5, leaves it open for us to bring in anything that people might be concerned about. Asking or telling. Okay, well, could we have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We don't need to do roll calls. Okay. Thank you. So now let's jump right into the hard work we have ahead of us, and that's the committee calendar. And I don't have the green version.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But does the green mean go or is it green mean stop?
Green means stop. I didn't
Okay.
think that through very good. I thought it would stand out compared to the rest of them.
Hello? No, I'm actually at home and I'm listening to the Sophia Travis Zoom meeting, so.
Oh, she's talking to somebody else.
Kim, your speaker's on.
There you go.
Now it's off.
Yeah.
Now it's off.
I don't have, oh, actually, does anybody need me to print off a copy?
I don't need to. Gina and I can share this because there's only a couple of things. So our very first meeting was May, and we're done with that. We don't need to be concerned. I want to call everyone's attention to June 1. And I mentioned this to Courtney. We lost somehow the number 1 and the gold banner at the top.
No.
And that's, these flags are just to help the staff keep track of what they need to do. And for all of us to know what they're doing. Okay.
I did want to confirm,
Mhm.
on June 1st, it says applications open the 17th. Should that be the 16th?
Yes,
I
because
just wanna
that
make
was
sure.
copied over from last year.
Okay,
So
that makes
let's fix
sense.
that typo.
just wanted to confirm that part.
Okay, we'll change it. And we have plenty of work for Courtney. Notice goes out to the news media, the website gets updated. Those gold flags are sort of flutter by a day or two. It's not ironclad, but we do want that. And then formally, the Sophia Travis grants are open on the 16th. Okay. And now we're ready to go to July. And the applications start coming in soon after people have them in hand. There's some people who can't wait to just dash off exactly what they turned in the previous year, and it's pretty easy to turn in an application if you're asking for food for a food pantry. Okay. And Courtney's job will be to begin putting in received applications. And she will put them into the Dropbox.
Okay, like we did last
year. And I invited you all to the 2023 Dropbox.
I have a question about that. When are we migrating away from Dropbox into OneDrive?
That I'm not sure.
Because that's happening. We're not gonna lose files when that happens, but I just wanna, I don't know.
I think we need to start the process of that soon. But I
Okay.
don't have a date for you.
I just wanted to make sure that wasn't gonna interrupt this
Okay.
process.
Okay, well, this Dropbox
is my personal Dropbox. Because I'm just sharing it with you all, because you're gonna share things back to it. And you don't want to advertise it to all of county government. But how you would score this grant or another. So, but we will also have Courtney make a special applications folder in the county Dropbox under Sophia Travis. Because, or 2023 applications, and she will redact those to get rid of people's phone numbers or other personal information. So that's, and I didn't write that as a separate thing for putting those in Dropbox. Because that should just apply to both of them. And our other members of the county council really do like to keep up with what's going on.
That's true.
Okay. And so as soon as they pop into Dropbox, you should get a little flag or notice that something has been added. And then you can go read. And until we get the scoring Excel file all prepared, I would urge you to take notes in one Word file and just keep it on your own computer. If you want to take notes about the applications, that's what I've done. Actually, I did something much worse. I put it, I put little Post-its on my laptop, not real ones, electronic
Yeah.
Post-its.
Oh,
and I
okay,
would
yeah.
take
Yeah,
notes
we could do that.
That's
And it's probably.
in my stickies folder,
Yeah.
but those are not very permanent and they are not backed up on my computer. So I don't recommend that.
Yeah, been there, done that.
Don't do what I do. Okay, so our real work will be probably about mid-July, because there will be some stragglers coming in for the getting the applications in. And Courtney and I, we probably should write this down, Courtney, like on the 11th or something. We need to review submitted applications against last year in
Okay.
case we lose somebody again, and we lost Hoosier Hills Food
Oh,
Bank
that's right.
and Community Kitchen last year, and they didn't get a notice. But the email shows that an email was sent to them, so we don't know what would happen. And if we're expecting something, we should, I don't mind the extra work of looking at things.
Well, I actually think Beacon also did not get an email, and I just happened to be talking to Forrest and like, so you guys submitted something. It's like, no, we never got a notice. And I'm like, well, the deadline's coming up. And so they got it.
We're just very lucky, yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't know what happened, but TSD dug back in and got that email for us to show us that we did send it out.
Wow.
So
I wonder, maybe in some organizations, it's getting caught in a spam.
That's what I was going to say.
They're not
If
paying
they don't
attention
check
to
their
it.
spam, like if they're expecting something, you don't get it, look in spam, it might be filtered out.
applications do. Maybe in the letter that we send to previous applicants,
Yes.
we should remind them to check their spam folder.
Okay.
Okay. Here, you want to,
Gonna keep a copy for myself.
here you go, you got it. That's. So then. And if you hear about any other organizations, we just need to know,
Okay.
because we feel so bad about it. Okay. So, and
Will we have an electronic application?
Yes, we
Yes.
did plan on doing that. We're going to make the form, so it's a fillable PDF.
yeah,
So it's not a Google form, it's a
Yes.
fillable PDF.
yeah,
That's great.
I'm not big
That's
on Google Forms.
No, because then you have to have a Google account.
Yeah.
I know, it's,
Yeah.
yeah. PDF seems almost universal anyway. So our next, calendar challenge is the 21st, the 24th, and the 25th of July. And it looks like, the 21st is out for Hattie, but the 24th and 25th are in for everybody. Okay. I would say, because we have a council work session at 5:30. And sometimes with legal issues coming up, discussions about property purchase. We've been having executive sessions start at 4:30. So I would prefer that our committee meet on Monday, if that's okay.
Yeah,
I'm okay with
Okay.
that. I'm good.
And the best time for everybody?
well. I could get off as early as 4, and then it takes me about 15 minutes to get down here.
Okay.
I have a meeting at 4, it's online. So if we could start at 4:30, that would be helpful for me.
Yeah.
I could bug off the meeting then.
I could do 4:30.
I could do 4:30.
Great, guys, wonderful.
The 24th.
The 24th. And then we're just going to see how the scoring is handled, and so that you're comfortable with it. And in advance, in your Dropbox, you will get an Excel scoring file. And I will ask you to put it on your own computers with your own initials and have that be your working file. And you will keep working in that file until it's time to copy it to Dropbox and send it to the committee. Okay?
Okay.
But it's good for us. We haven't always been able to work this out, but it's good for us to have that file. And have talked about how we're handling things before we had the presentations from the applicants. And do you guys remember, Patty doesn't know this, but this is really just helping the organizations. Because we don't judge the quality of their application based on what they say or how they present it. We just are trying to help the community know more about the organizations and support them more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those presentations are interesting.
but they are.
Yeah.
And you come away from that and you go, wow, you're so lucky to have all these.
Lots of cool stuff going on.
Yeah. All these things going on and all these people working, it's just amazing. So, and everybody's so good with 4:30 on the 26th. For the
Yeah, that could.
hot pink letter day,
Yeah.
not red. Okay,
Peter, was that day okay with you?
It's
I think
not.
it's worth your traveling.
did
I
you,
am traveling that day, but
Yeah.
it's only a family vacation, so it's not for work. So
You
we
get
could
to-
leave, we
Okay.
could leave after this meeting. So I don't have to go up and catch a flight or anything.
okay. Oh, all right.
I can be
Okay.
flexible.
You can have it all packed and ready to go.
That's right.
Extra sandwiches for the little.
How long
girls.
does this meeting last? Is it a 2-hour meeting, a 3-hour meeting?
No,
For the presentations?
it's about an hour and a half, isn't it?
I think it was like less than 2 hours.
Yes, I was gonna say it was less than 2 hours normally.
Yeah, because I was pleasantly surprised that it got done a lot faster because when I served on the Jack Hopkins committee ages ago, that presentation took forever. So I was surprised that this one
Ah.
ran through.
Do y'all
very
limit
smooth.
them to how much time they have for the presentation?
Like we-
Or
Yes, the instructions are in the
in the
application. And to further help them, we decided to have a PowerPoint slide submitted by each one. If you want to jazz up the cover slide,
I would
Courtney,
love to. I can do that.
please give us some jazz.
Yes, I will.
And oh, I forgot to tell you something right at the beginning. This year we have more money than ever before.
Yay.
Thanks to you.
Well, and Kim
That's right, that's right.
Kim says, oh, let's round that up another 2.735.
There we go.
I
Um,
like round numbers, so.
we do too. It really is stupid to get up there and say, we have a total of.
$1,000.
I just want to remind you, we do have an additional, what was it, Courtney, $830?
Yes,
And that's because we had somebody had a grant and they didn't use it all like years back or something. So it just got like refunded back to us. So
So it's 168,000, is that what it is?
yes, it's on the application at the top.
Did it change
Yeah,
here?
they changed it.
I think it's $160,830.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, and the other information.
There it is, great. Boy, Kim, we're gonna have to round that 830 up to by another 70 at least.
I know, right?
So, but the cover slide is just a way to keep the audience's attention on their names and how to contact them. And none of this is set in stone right now, so if you have any other really great ideas, we can work it out. But not after we send out this application, right? So. Okay. So, Peter, will you be back on the 22nd?
I'm looking.
Oh, with the work session? Or,
Are we
Your
talking July
vacation.
22nd or what?
no, we're talking about
August
August,
22nd?
yeah, because we moved over to August. Oh, you're just going the 26th of July, and then you're back.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll be back. We're gonna go for an extended weekend,
Yeah. So,
because then school starts,
Second.
yeah, really early, really early. So,
no,
yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
So, good thing we had lots of joint meeting dates being optional for our, putting our scores together and developing recommendations. That's because, we Xed out 4 out of 6, so, or 4 out of, yeah.
Also, the 17th,
Yeah,
Jean will be
I can't.
unavailable.
Jean?
Yeah, I can't do the 17th.
So it would be
I
the
work late that
14th or 18th.
Okay, so I don't have a preference, except that,
And what's this meeting for?
and this is the meeting of the committee face to face to discuss their recommendations and to come up with the committee's recommendation to the council. And,
Okay.
and so that we have Monday, the 14th as a possibility, or Friday, the 18th as a possibility. Starting about 4:30. I would prefer Monday too.
Just remember that on Fridays, we can't do any Zoom meetings after
Oh, well,
4.
and we have to be on Zoom, is that correct?
Yes,
That took care of that.
Let's do that.
Okay,
Monday evening.
Monday evening and start time, everybody, is at
That
4:30?
4:30 again works
Mhm.
really nicely.
Okay,
I can swing that. Okay.
great.
Okay,
Thank you,
14.
everyone. This is so good. Okay, and then the final meeting is the Jean and Hattie show, the county council.
And
And we already know what you're gonna say, but we want you to be able to.
when is that?
And
What's
that
the
is
date?
the 22nd, starting at 5:30.
Okay,
And if we have to be flexible on time, we can put it whenever we want on the agenda.
Yeah.
So if you have.
August 2nd,
Mhm.
at what time?
The council starts at 5:30, but we can make it.
Okay,
Towards the middle or beginning or the end.
And that's a work session, so we sit around the table. It's not
Yeah.
as intimidating as when we're up in the days.
I remember
Yeah.
last year.
She was brand new and she had to go do it all by herself.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 'cause Josh wasn't here.
Yeah, I wasn't able to make it, so.
You did a good job.
Yes. Yeah, it's fun.
Okay, so, and after that, what happens is, the council makes their vote. And they have never yet disagreed with the committee. That doesn't mean every council member votes for, the recommendations. And sometimes, they ask for a particular grant proposal to be considered separately so that they could say they're for all the others, but not for that one, so. It feels a lot like sorority rush of blackballing. But.
Yeah, one of those, yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Oh, something.
So, but we get it done, and then Courtney's job, and I don't know what's on there, is preparing the contracts. Did we get that on?
I have scheduled grant contracts.
On the 24th.
On the 23rd, it's just prepare contractual agreement.
Okay, we got there.
And that's scheduled.
Yes. it-
Yeah. Yeah, that's just something we can do. Because it's a template and we just fill in what the committee has recommended. And then if something does change, it's easily changed. So,
So, and that sort of brings us to the great end. And then the applicants come here to sign the contract, or the commissioner's office, Kim, which place?
we normally email them out to them because it seems more convenient.
Uh-huh.
And then they can either email them back signed or they can bring them in physically. So we
Okay,
give them a couple options.
great. Yeah, I know there's some organizations still that are not really good with email. Or having trouble, so. Okay. And I don't see anything else on our calendar to talk about. Does anybody else?
I did have an idea.
Okay.
September 2023 is included on the digital copy. Do you all have that?
Yeah.
So you see that our budget section starts almost as soon as this process
You
ends.
bet, and that's why we are boogieing to get this done.
And I was
Yeah.
thinking it might be helpful to have the committee members make a recommendation on how much to increase Sophia Travis in the budget based upon their intimate knowledge of the applicants and what the applicants are asking for and what the need is and whether inflation's a factor, blah, 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 blah.
Mhm.
What do you think about that?
I think that's good. And we always have to keep in mind though, the growth quotient
Yes.
rule. Because whenever we go over the growth quotient, somebody else somewhere in some element of their operations is gonna go under.
Yes, yes.
So I've been pretty mindful of that.
Yeah, and if Marty was sitting right here, she would tell me, Peter, this body doesn't make decisions. It's only a recommendation to the council. So she's really good about reminding me of that. So, yeah.
So we should talk about this
Mhm.
after, when we do our scoring. And, we will
I
be
was
able to- just a sec, we'll be able to easily know how much more funding was requested than we had available.
This is a ballpark.
Just, yeah,
Mhm.
and I think that's good information for
That works.
for the council.
Well, and this body wouldn't be making a decision on that, we'd just be making a recommendation to council.
Yeah,
Yeah. Now, I was gonna say, you could probably discuss that at your 14th meeting on August 14th. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then that way you can formally,
Mm,
you know, make that consideration and then maybe submit something at the work session on the 22nd
Mm.
to the council.
yes, that's what I was thinking. So for the text for the 14th is actually under the 11th. And it says committee meets jointly in person to compare scores and develop funding recommendations. And we could change that to be including council budget recommendations for 24. So we can edit that in and have this a little better. Okay. So. Well, I think that wraps it up with the calendar. Does anybody have anything else? Okay, then we should formally adopt the committee's calendar.
I move to formally adopt this committee's calendar.
Oh, we have a motion? Thank you. And we will have a roll call vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Passes unanimously. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so let's now turn to looking at the packet. And I have to say, I haven't looked at it since last year. So I'm just going to read any things. And some of the things we can't edit and change because they are part of our the council's resolution for the grant program, including eligible organizations, areas eligible for support, criteria for evaluation. Those were set out formally. And they have changed over the years based on how things have gone. So I'd like to make a comment on criteria used for evaluation after you all have read that. Because this is a tough one.
Didn't we have a discussion last year about the support for salaries?
Yes, we
Yeah.
did. That-
Get
We're
that
gonna have it
down.
again.
Okay.
So. Tell me when you're ready.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one's easy. Programs serve Monroe County residents primarily. Yeah. And there are some organizations that have have a multi-county reach.
Mhm.
And the one that that I remember most is meeting the needs of. You remember meets the needs?
Oh, yeah, the USDA people, it was.
It was the hunters.
Yes,
The
yes,
hunters,
yeah,
the
with deer.
yes, and so they're contributing, they're just asking for some help with processing from
Mhm.
an approved
Ah.
facility. Yeah, and I know those food banks are really count on that venison.
Mhm.
And if it's in meatloaf, nobody ever knows. Put enough onions and soda crackers or oatmeal and ketchup in it, and it's.
Makes me nervous to come eat your house again.
Right.
Ah.
Just don't eat the meatloaf.
I'll tell you a story another time, Peter, I can't.
Uh-oh, sounds like you already did.
We eat lots of wild things. We used to grow or collect all our own food back in my birth mother days.
I love that.
It was just what we did and I enjoyed doing it.
Uh-huh.
It was fun.
I love venison.
I just don't, I raised cattle and I prefer eating venison, if
Mhm.
it's young venison. It's less fatty, the taste is delicious if it's young. So, okay, so, the dollar amount sought will accomplish the stated goals of the proposal. This never comes out right. In terms of the dollars sought will accomplish the goals of their proposal, but what we often fund is only a small portion of what they are seeking. So it's okay to contribute, to be willing to fund part of a project. And unless they aren't willing to raise other funds for this, and I've never seen that. And, okay. In some cases, there are projects where if they get funding, it will definitely bring in other funding for them. And we have in the past looked at this as getting a bigger bang for our buck. So that's what that means. Our grant program used to say no support for operational expenses or salaries. But that has proven to be completely unworkable for our organizations. Because that's where they have the biggest need,
Mhm.
and they can get contributions of material things or items to be purchased from businesses. But they just can't get operational and salary expenses, so we want them to be able to have some of that, but we just don't want to completely make say we will continue to support their salaries. So Jean probably knows better than any of us about how hard it is to get that, right?
Mhm. It's very tough.
So, okay. Now, nothing else has changed in terms of the instructions. And we haven't changed the cover sheet, have we?
No,
At all. So we did ask them to prioritize their specific requests and costs because we can almost never. 95% of the grants do not fund the entire request. And when possible, we'd like to be able to say, okay, we know we're gonna be able to cover this for you. Or that, or maybe at this end of that. Here we go. What's the presentation date? It is the 26th. So, Courtney, I think we will not need to do a blind draw
Okay.
because I discovered that Excel has their own generator of
Yep.
random numbers. Hey, hey, it was more fun drawing the names. But it just occurred to me to go look for it one time, so.
We can do that.
So what, how can we reword under public presentation? By. Just say by random number.
There you go.
Presentations will be randomly
Or
assigned.
random order.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
and then you'll be notified by email. So,
That's a great idea. I like that idea a lot.
so I have to tell you. A really fun thing that I did with random numbers. I needed to, I was doing the study of arrow points from this. The wonderful Mississippian side of Angel Mounds in Evansville, and there were over 1,000. And we only wanted to do 100. But how do you can't just. They all
Right.
had their own little catalog numbers and how do we do this? It's, okay, we'll just use a random number. So my research partner and I went to a table of random numbers and we laid everything out in rows of 10.
Yeah.
And then just started looking them up and went to the next random number that was within 100 and we would call them out. We kept, okay, we got this one now, and then we got that one. It was hilarious.
Scientific process.
It was. It was so manual compared to what we can do now. So,
On the first page, I highlighted some language regarding COVID. I just wanted to make sure all of that is still to be included and phrased that way.
I don't think we should be lecturing the organizations about COVID anymore.
Cause the city's not, the county's not, I mean, they repealed it even though people are still getting COVID, they say.
I think it's with us
Right.
forever, but
Yeah, but I don't. Technically,
So I can go ahead and take that.
technically the pandemic is over,
Yeah.
at least on paper.
thank
Not
you for.
officially, but officially.
Right,
Yeah.
so they have to take it out.
Okay, Courtney also will have for us before we start scoring or reading things and evaluating a list of all applicants and whether or not they have completed their required reports.
Yes,
And do you know how many we have outstanding?
I think it's one or two.
Just one or two. Oh, that's good. I'm feeling better about that. They know that it's meaningful if they turn in their reports. They didn't need to.
Quick question, and I'm trying to refresh my brain from last year. Didn't we have a couple of applicants that were missing things? And am I mistaken? I feel like this is like Groundhog's Day, but I feel like there were people that were missing some things. And we were on the fence of trying to figure out if their application should be approved or not because of what they were missing. It was like, it was certain documents. It was something I thought was missing. And we were on the fence of whether or not this year or next year, meaning this year, like we would continue to allow them to still submit and still be approved for funding.
That would have been the report, maybe. Kim, do you remember anything?
Yes, what it was, we were going back and looking at organizations that were habitually not turning in their reports. And so that's why we started tracking them better. With the idea that if they had not turned in the required report, that they would either, I think the committee was talking about like either they wouldn't be considered getting grant money, or they would not get as much, you know. So, but we would kind of prod them to get their reports turned in, but we just have, and I don't know, Courtney, we'd have to look, but I think like she said, that we have almost the bulk of them now, but you know,
There's only a couple missing at this point.
yeah.
And they do get notices from
Yes.
the council office to get it done. Maybe,
Adding something in there. that
Yeah,
says
I
that?
think so.
Yeah, just to better help us with
We
like
could-
paperwork process.
we could have a line to the. Well, it's already on there. If you received a Sophia Travis Grant Award in 21, we're gonna change that to 22.
It would be 21.
Oh, yes, it would be
23,
21.
We just got the.
That's
21
right.
report. I did change that. Do you want to include language on the information sheet possibly that will be taken into consideration? Or is that implied since we're not
No, I
doing it in
think
the
it should
application?
be criteria used for evaluation of applicants.
Yeah, I recommend you put something in there that, you know, it's imperative that they get their reports turned in, so.
Correct. Yeah, I feel like that just helps the council
Yeah.
office with a lot of stuff.
And like Cheryl mentioned, we I think at least quarterly send out reminders
Yeah.
Yes.
to them, so, yeah.
But this part that asks them, did they submit it? Could you add in there if they haven't submitted for the past report that they don't qualify?
Well, what I was thinking, Hattie, is criteria used for evaluation, and just to add another bullet being completion of required reports.
Okay.
And then it's right up front, and they
Yep.
Yeah.
can't miss that.
Right
Yeah.
under criteria.
Yeah.
So in terms of process, if the answer is no, does that mean that we'll reject their application, or we just dock them a couple of dollars, or what do we do if someone has not been diligent in their reporting requirements? Or is that a decision we make as a committee?
If it's a
Can you
committee decision, I think
imagine
they
if
should do
Community
rejection.
Kitchen didn't send in a report? And we went, oh my, this is crazy, something happened,
Yeah,
or.
So we're
I
not-
think sorry, I was gonna say, I think what we've done in the past was, we had a couple that's, departments that said no, had they turned them in, but then shortly thereafter, we were able to get their reports, and then we let the committee know, so.
oh, so it's not so much like a stick as it is a nudge.
Right, so I think it's all up to the committee how they want to handle it.
So they could potentially not do their reports and then be awarded and actually get the funds next year, even though they didn't complete reports for 23.
If the committee decided to.
And then it would be I guess to not have a penalty, for me, it's like,
Yeah,
well, why do them? I'm never gonna do them.
Exactly.
think
I
that's-
think,
that's
I
my
agree. I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
I think. we've
And
just-
it's a waste of council's time or council.
To check
like,
up
Yeah,
Yeah.
to keep going through
Yeah,
and
if we're not gonna do
consistently
anything.
and
sending
reminding.
reminders when
Yeah.
they are the ones that filled out the application in the
Yeah.
first place.
And
Yeah.
this fiscal responsibility, I mean, organizations are receiving these funds. We want to know that they use them as they said they were going to.
Because
the
these-
outcome.
And these are actually taxpayer dollars.
Mhm.
That's right.
Exactly.
So
Mhm.
that's why we're
Yeah.
especially careful.
And I'm kind of thinking that a lot of other, ramping programs require that you gotta turn
They
in the
do.
report before you get more money,
I do.
Yeah.
even if it's like typically, routine renewal every year.
But you still
They
want to
need
see
to
it.
know that you're using the money correctly.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're all adults.
Yeah, we operate, half of county government on grants.
Mhm. Seriously,
And,
yeah.
and we hire half of county staff who know how to write grants and report them. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that should be clear to them that completion of required sport reports. Why not?
Yeah, from previous
Mhm.
years.
Yeah. There could be a time when there would be someone who did, an organization didn't turn in a report and they were given a time extension by the council because of whatever snafu that happened. So,
So I wouldn't count that towards.
yeah, that would be fine.
Yeah, I mean, if.
That goes for the why not slot.
Yeah.
Of course. People have special circumstances, but I think it's no excuse, because it sounds like from talking to him before about this, kind of like the usual suspects continue to be the ones
Yeah.
that are late and turning in things. So if that's the case, let's kind of nudge them a little bit more to be a little bit more diligent with money that they are receiving that could be going to other people if they're not gonna be compliant with it.
And even if they had an approved extension. And that extension or the awards of the next year came before the extended date, I think that award should be pending completion. If they never give it to you, then they never get the next award.
That makes sense. I would agree.
Start having like a banned list. Like a bad
Yikes.
Yeah, don't want to get on that list.
And if they're on that list, maybe they means that their organization needs somebody else at the helm.
Well, that's what I
They
was
want
thinking.
to continue
If
to get
there's-
taxpayer dollars.
If there are continual problems, this is such a small community.
Mhm.
We would know that organization and
Yeah.
could probably sit down with the head of that organization, say,
Mhm.
hey, the staff's not doing what they need to be doing, or you need to hire more staff because you can't keep up or something.
And they said, yeah,
That's
we
what
would
we were
hire
trying
more.
Okay.
Well,
That-
when? You gotta do your report. You gotta get the report done.
So, well, I think we've just done
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
good.
everything that we need.
Mhm.
Let's see, Courtney, do you need the calendar changes that I might have noted?
No, I've been taking all down. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So do we have anything else that you'd like to discuss while we're here? Because we won't see each other again for a long
I
time.
have one thing.
Mhm.
The team that you've assembled is really, I think, a crackerjack team. I think this is a really good team. So are the names of the members of this team gonna be either on the website or
Yes.
maybe we should put them on this, because then they'd reach out to me and be like, hey, Peter, you know, but
Well, let's do it as the 2023 committee members.
There's a webpage.
It's on the
Sophia
webpage.
But I can have them on this as well.
yeah,
And
That's
that's,
a good idea.
we got some power players here. And we need to brag about that.
Good.
Yeah.
Right.
good.
Cool.
Oh, and the other thing, I just wanna remind you, we all have organizations that we support ourselves. Some that we actually work for. We don't worry about that. We just know we can evaluate fairly and
Mhm.
because I don't know, I support about a third of the applicants in some way or another, other than this committee.
Yeah.
Can
Not a third,
can I-
maybe a fourth.
can I
Yes,
make
Kim?
I'd like to make a recommendation, that Courtney is also going to be putting this information on Facebook as to the dates and stuff. So could you reach out to your organizations and have them like or follow the county council Facebook page? And then that information will also be on there. So that way, if they do miss the email, I mean, we post the information on our council website as well as on the Sophia Travis website, but we're
Yeah.
also going to put it on Facebook as well. So
So, and on the website, you'll reference the Facebook page, right?
correct.
How about in the newspaper, notice? Mention both the web page and the Facebook page and the application. Let's see, how can we, we're trying to keep it to one page here, but.
Yeah, it's not going to be one page, but we always
We
link, we have links. So they can link to she'll be able to do a link from Facebook to the application, and will be a link on the website to the application. So
Okay, and do you want to put information on the application that,
I can do that. I can put the
Just-
email address and the Facebook page.
Yeah,
or
and
something, contact
make it
on that.
symmetrical?
yeah,
That's great.
but
Kim-
Facebook
Kim-
page, the county's page or the
Yeah.
Sophia
The
Travis
county
grant
council.
page?
It's the county council.
County
County
council
council's page.
So,
but I just
we-
thought if they could follow Facebook, that's going to pop up in their feeds. So
mhm.
Alright.
Okay, we've not had a
I
Facebook
can send you that.
staff member until Courtney.
Okay.
Yes. It's a good investment.
So she's got that in bold letters on her resume.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, well, thank you, Kim, for bringing that up. Is there any other items? Okay, well, we shall be adjourned until we meet again. Thank you for your time. Jean, you want to take this? I haven't read it. I'll get
Okay.
one online.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
see you all.
Yes.